about some draft, and all of you white boys are breaking your neck to get to Switzerland and Canada and London. I'm not going to help nobody get something my Negroes don't have. If I'm going to die, I'll die now, right here fighting you. If I'm going to die, you my enemy. My enemy is the white people, not Vietcong's or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home. I'm saying you talking about
welcome to another episode of RBN Lives. Quite possibly could be ended up being Nick and CJ. We'll see if JB shows up. But what's up, Nick? I'm one of your hosts. I'm CJ. What's up, Nick?
What's good, fam? Welcome back to RBN Live Tuesday. Obviously, got a big announcement. I'll pass it to CJ because this will be a good show. We also got a lot of stories to go through. And we're going to hit you with quite a bit of content today because later tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to have our boy, Q Anthony Amene, is going to join us. And my friend, he joined us during the Anti-Imperialist Summit. Carla Zah has his own great anti-imperialist podcast. I don't know if you remember him. He's going to join me there.
I remember
him and Q, I'll tell you, Carla Zah and Q Anthony together is fire. Like, they friends. That's why I was able I was like, hey, Q, let me get Carla up. Hit Carla up. So them two together, bro, I'm going to be sitting back, bro. That's going to be a fire conversation. So that's later tonight. But go ahead, CJ. I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah. Let me just type in. So let's start with the fundraiser, I guess. Let's start with JB's fundraiser.
Let's go.
Hopefully he's able to join. So we had a fundraiser for JB. Oops. Let me actually take that off. We had a fundraiser for JB because that's not the right amount. This is what I'm giving you as an updated amount. So that fundraiser's over because he needed for this upcoming housing month. And beyond, and so the goal was 5,000, and we pushed for probably 10 to 12 days. I think, Nick, something like that. It's been 10 to 12 days since we
came through on
launched it.
For real.
Yeah, and it's just amazing that the goal was met, and it was 5,400 that was actually raised. So I mean, just thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to just everybody who retweeted, because there was a lot of people that didn't donate, but they retweeted. A lot of big accounts retweeted. I know Margaret shouted it out. I know Dr. Jill Stein shouted it out. And here's JB right here. Wow, JB, so great. This is like perfect, like Hollywood.
I've been smiling all night because of this.
Yeah, you came in right when we're talking about your fundraiser. We had a goal of $5,000, and JB, we're just letting everybody know we exceeded the goal by reaching $5,400 for JB's housing need, which is just unbelievable, and we want to thank everybody. I was just thanking everybody, JB, but I'll pass it to you so you can they can hear it from you directly.
Yeah, so me and my mom just wanted to say a thank you. Mom?
Yes.
You can come over. Yeah. This is my mom.
Hi.
And so we just wanted to thank you guys for this, because the thing is that what's going on, especially when it comes to housing, is we are,
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes, I can. I don't
Not
know.
as big as my head or his head.
Yeah, he said he can see it. Yeah.
Okay.
But
hi, JB's mom.
Yeah.
Hi.
So here's the thing: when it comes to what a lot of us are going through, people who, my mom is, retired, and she's on Social Security. I'm on Social Security disability, and they do not allow for us to truly live. Like, for instance, like I was saying on my stream earlier, the average amount for people who are on Social Security, whether it's retirement or disability, is about $1,100-$1,200 a month. Given the fact that during, in this country, the average rent is between $1,500 and $1,700 a month. nobody who's getting Social Security benefits at all can actually sustain living in this. So because of that, what's going on is, it's wholly inadequate, and people who are elderly and disabled are literally living in poverty. Ma, I can get the folding chair if you want.
I'm only gonna be a minute because
Okay. And so because of that, it is not sustainable for us to do, and we just can't do that. And so there's a lot of us who, you got it, Mom?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. And so because of what we're going through, you have landlords wanting to raise rents. Like, for instance, and you can confirm this, last year they raised it $100, and in this year they raised it $250 more, and we can't sustain that. And so because of that,
the year before they raised it, 2 years before that they raised it,
and 2 years before that they raised it. So I mean, our rent has more than doubled in 8 years. And so, it is just unsustainable for us. And like you said, that you're still trying to look for a job. And
I'm coming out of retirement. I worked for the in the school system for 16 years, and I worked other jobs between Philadelphia and here. And I'm coming out of retirement. I'm 71 years old, and I'm coming out of retirement, having to go back to work. Not that I have a problem with it, but it's so hard trying to just everything that they do, and it's like, if you're poor, then that's just too bad. You're going to have to just make it the best way you can. Mm-hmm. We don't care about you.
Yeah.
And so for us, we struggle. This is my youngest son, but he's my rock. He's the one that helps me more than anything in the world. Without him, I wouldn't have nowhere to live, because I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't do this by myself. But like I said, for me, I appreciate his good ethics. I appreciate the fact that he cares enough to take care of me, because he could have his own life and do what he wants. He wouldn't have to do nothing. But at the same time, I'm grateful that he has a network of people that care. And I've always raised him to believe that, you be around people that care. When you have people that care about you, then you have everything. It's not even about money. It's about the fact that the sincerity and the depth of people wanting to be caring, that's what counts more than anything.
Yeah.
So I appreciate everything you guys have done. I almost was knocked out over rather when he told me what happened, because literally for the last few months we've been barely getting by. I mean, seriously barely getting by. And I'm trying to get back to work from home if I can, because I have some health issues. Not bad, but enough where it keeps me from being able to do anything. And 71 trying to go back out to work is not like it was when I was 61. How about that? But it's hard. It's very difficult. And I'll do what I have to do. I do what I have to do to take care of me and him. Everything we have is like, most everything is used. I have a used car. Finally paid it off after 5 years. But at the same time, I don't begrudge the fact that this young man, I'm telling you, he's just more than any mother could ever want. And I guess by you guys talking to him all the time, you see what kind of person he is. So yes, I'll take the pat on the back and the credit for raising him the right way. I appreciate y'all looking at that. But he's a good person.
It's an honor.
Thank you again. I asked him, where can I tried, who are you gonna mail it to? So I said, I'll just show it to you. This card. Can you see it?
Yeah.
It's a blessing to have JB in his community. Like, he reached so many people with his positive message, and I'm glad that we was able to come together as a community and provide a little bit of relief, because we want you guys to reject individualism. We need to come together as a collective, especially as Black people. We need to come together and take care of each other. So I'm super glad to hear this, and I want to share this, because I always want to add, because this stuff we talk about is real. People wonder about why we have the tone that we do. We have the tone we do because the stuff we talk about is real. Like you see the boxes behind me? They're not there for any reason. Got to house another relative that otherwise would be homeless. Look at this: high rents outpace federal disability payments, leaving many homeless. This is the real life.
I came up during the 60s. 1968, I was in high school when Martin Luther King was shot. I remember watching the dogs being sick on young people in the South when they just wanted to have their rights. I was a child who grew up during that era. I tell him all the time, I said, Black Lives Matter is just the 60s sped up.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yes.
Nothing's changed.
Yes,
Nothing
changed. Yes.
It's just the more things change, the more they remain the same. I said, the only thing is, it's just 50 years later. I said, people have got to understand, no matter what you think, you have got to remember where there was a beginning. This is the middle of it now. We're not at the end. This is just another day in the course of something that was started 50-something years ago. I went to a school that was predominantly white when my last year of high school. And I remember the things that we went through that coming up in high school, what I went through. There was no rights for us. I went through a lot. At 16 years old, I remember when a lot of the riots and everything were happening. I remember when people were being, I have a friend that knew Emmett Till.
People act like that was a long time ago. Like, it's so people act like that was a long time ago. That's a lifetime ago. Everyone, me and JP were on the same age. We all have elders that have these stories as well. Like, my dad would tell me about the stories of the race riots and gang fights that used to be in Alabama, where they used to get attacked by racist white gangs. Like, people, like, this is our lifetime. People talk about it as this racism was a long time ago, hundreds of years ago. No, these are stories that need to be here.
It hasn't changed from the 60s to now. Nothing's changed. It's just been updated 50 years later. There's nothing different. They just have a different name for it now. And more people are more involved in what they used to be. See, people are fearful back then of doing too much. I remember when I went to Rutgers for a little bit, and I'll never forget the Black Panther movement. I almost became a part of that because things were so bad. You know, where he was raised, well, he wasn't actually raised. Where we lived, I came from Camden, New Jersey. It was considered the most dangerous city in America at one time. And people were literally, they tore that town up. It was a lot going on. It was nothing. The Philadelphia police were on fire with treating people. Frank Rizzo, the commissioner at that time, was the worst racist commissioner in the country. He was a hateful, crazy man. But guess what? Things have moved up a little different, but nothing has changed.
Absolutely.
Nothing has really changed. You've inched a little bit more. But like I said earlier, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Aren't they still shooting young Black men? Aren't they still killing people? Aren't they still going out of their way to make sure Black people don't get the rights that they're supposed to have? Nothing's changed. It really hasn't.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why I say the civil rights movement is still undone. I don't know why people pretend, that we had a civil rights movement. It's done. No, we should have never stopped. It was something that was left undone. We had a lot of great fighters that accomplished a lot of great things, but that's why we have the energy that we do, because I think we should be fighting as if that never ended. I don't know why it did, but
it's called a movement, which means you got to keep moving. Movement means to move, not stop in the middle of your tracks. When you say movement, if I tell you to move, you're not supposed to sit there and look at me like, well, what am I supposed to do? I said move.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving. That's not happening, because you'll have people that'll get stuck on stupid and just remain where they're at and think, well, I did all I can do. Let me go fetch my, I'm here. That's not it. You have leaders who want to continue to put themselves out only so far. They're not dying in the street like they used to. The leaders I'm talking about. I'm not talking about people who you don't know.
Mhm.
I'm talking about the leaders aren't willing to do stuff like that. So it's a lot that has to continue to be done. And you got a lot of people who want things to change. But the bottom line is this. I'm going to tell you from experience. When I look at a lot of things going on, and I tell him the same thing, we don't always agree on every single thing. But I tell him, I said, look, I said, you have got to look at the real deal here. This is the real picture.
Real deal Holyfield.
There you go. You know, I mean, we're not trying to make it seem like we know everything and that you know things are, but there's a lot of people who know what it takes to make things move in a certain direction because they've been there. They've been in that situation. Experience is always the best teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I would rather listen to somebody 88 years old who told me about when he, you know, was a sharecropper son than listen to somebody 18 years old who don't know nothing about the next day. See, because they don't have that knowledge, they don't have that experience. And experience is something that will keep you going or make you go a long, long, long way. Because that's what we do. Everything you're doing today, you learn from what the past mistakes, what went wrong, why it didn't work out. You know, people who didn't have fear.
Yeah, isn't the old adage, you know, those who do not study history are doomed to repeat it?
No, that's not an old adage. That's a new today, yesterday adage. It's going on right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's going on right now? That's what nothing surprises me. Not one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always look at life as what am I contributing to what I can do? It might not even be recognized on the news. It might not be recognized by a lot of famous people, but somebody's going to remember something I'm saying about it. Because you know why? I've been there. Yeah. I see it. I see the mistakes I've made. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And I tell people this, and a lot of them are kind of shocked and taken aback when I say this, but me, my brothers, and my cousin, we are the first generation in our family to have been born with full rights in this country. So, you know, after her, we were the ones with full rights. She wasn't born with full rights. Her siblings weren't born with full rights. So, you know, that's the crazy part about this country. And this is why I always talk about leave the world better than you found it, which is what a lot of you have done. You guys have left our world better than you found it, which we're so appreciative of. So,
north, south, east, or west, who's going to get us out this mess? Can you figure it out?
Right. JB's mom remind me, or you Miss JB's mom, you remind me so much of my own mom with the sayings. I know exactly what you mean with these sayings that JB is looking like. I don't know if my audience knows. I understand exactly what she's talking about. I got a whole heap of them for you. Yeah, when she says it. So
yes. I'm gonna tell you something, you know, that when you throw the reins down, you don't stand there and say, well, I wonder who's gonna pick them up. You got to know who's gonna pick them up. You gotta know who you feel comfortable with picking those reins up and carrying on. Not Herschel Walkers of the world, but people who are smart enough and have the right attitude and have the right mindset to do the right thing. You know, because there's enough dummies in the world where we don't have to pick them out. They just come up to us. All we have to do is just maintain. And I always tell him, the best thing to do in your life is maintain positivity. I don't care how bad things are. We've been homeless. We've been without a long time. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I raised my children alone, and they're all still around me. I can't get rid of them if I wanted to. They all around me.
You can't get
they all still around me. They won't go nowhere. Dang. You know? So, you know, it's all about your personal feelings on how you want things to get better. You can sit there, you know, and say, well, you know, somebody will take care of it. Or you can do something for yourself and say, like y'all doing right now. You all have your own ideas. You're presenting your ideas. You're bringing your feelings. Expression is a good point in life. Expression lets other people, Dad, I was thinking about the same thing. You know what? That's how I feel. And you can make something work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, try and bake a cake. You know about this without the eggs. You've had a lot of flops, haven't you? Yeah.
All right, Mom.
Okay. So, but
All
it was very
right.
nice talking to you. And once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You know, we've always tried to do it on our own. I've really worked hard to try to do it on my own. I got to go back to work. If you hear of anything where you have somebody, I love to talk, as you see. I don't have a problem with talking to nobody online or whatever. I'll be glad. Okay. And you keep him in check, because I'm telling you, he will leave me. He would leave me in that hurricane to talk to you rather than be bothered with his own mother. That's a problem for me. You know? I said, "Are you all right? Yeah, all right. Get out."
I don't act like that.
Yes, you did.
No, I don't.
You didn't act like that with me?
No, I did not.
What's this called? The dirty truths. He's telling the lie. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Super glad we was able to help.
Yeah, that's awesome though, for people to hear and see your mom. I had to step off camera. It got too much for me for a little bit. But I came back after, because these things are traumatic. And for me, trauma things can trigger trauma. And it's like, so like you said earlier, Nick, this is the reason why you see and hear the way we speak, and why we're so hardcore when it comes to no, there's no support of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party are the mayors and the governors of these cities and states.
Yeah.
And they have us in these conditions. Go ahead, JB, if you were going to say something.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, also like the bosses behind me, we're not gonna let people tone police us. If we're on point, and I feel like I'm right on the argument, I'm not gonna, and that's why I've been having a blast calling out all the white liberals who are upset because I'm trying to pull black people away from the Democratic Party. These stories are exactly why. Democrats are not here to help us. They're here to wage a class war and use black bodies to gain political gain, to fund the police more. They're not our friends. And that's why you guys are not going to tone police us. And we're not going to tolerate people that sheepdog people into these parties that implement policies that hurt us. Right?
Right. But this is such a lesson for the audience to understand the difference between RBN and everybody else. Can they bring on, are they going to bring on their family member and see, look how we've affected their lives? They have money. These are situations that they just simply, it's not their fault. They
how many homeless
cannot grasp. Yeah, they just simply cannot grasp this. They can't. It's such an abstract concept when they're arguing these political strategies, because it's literally not anything that affects them right now. All of their material needs are being met. So this is just pontificate. It's just theory to them. It's not real.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a completely different approach. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, they like talking theory about our liberation, right? Because they're not really invested in. And you can tell, look at the segments they do. How many homeless stories they do? We cover homeless all the time. Police violence. And for example, we did police abolition segment yesterday, and it make a lot of white people uncomfortable. It don't get as many views as the drama videos do, but we cover those trauma stories that a lot of content tend to avoid. I covered the Pendleton too.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago as well. How many people are doing streams talking about political prisoners other than RBN? Talking about political prisoners, police abolition theory, talking about genocides our government is waging. Meanwhile, people are like, I'm gonna do a video about oh my God, look at what Ilhan Omar's tweeted at Ben Shapiro. He owned her. I just be seeing it's a completely different tone And that's what we try to bring. And that's why I feel like there was a big lane. Obviously, the friends of the show you see on here, the people are a lot of them are serious, but there's a lot of lane. There's a giant lane, and like JB said when he went off Stats Cool, a class divide that we've made a lot of people acknowledge. So
Yeah. And there's a point that needs to be made is that a lot of people who are in this higher class or upper class, like for instance, the PMCs. I like what Stuart Edwards says. Stuart says PMC has the luxury of patience. The thing is that when you don't know what it feels like, all the pain that we feel is abstract to them. And so because it is abstract, they really don't know, they don't feel the intensity. When you feel the intensity of something, that's what drives you into having a sense of urgency. This is why let's vote every 2 years, let's vote every 4 years for the same type of people every single time. This is why it's frustrating for people like you guys, me, Rome, Sabby, many people at the Indie News Network, people at MCSC, a lot of us. It's frustrating for us because we're literally burning in the house as you're saying, let's wait another 2 or 4 years. Let's just get more progressives. And whenever you do that, we're like, what do you mean do that? I literally just had a fundraiser, which you guys helped facilitate, which I am beyond grateful for, just so that I can still have a roof over my head. I literally just had that. And my sense of urgency is so much so to the point where I'm like, no, we need housing for all now. Not a couple of years from now. We need it now. And yet you still have people go, well, we just need to elect more progressives. They're not doing anything either. So what is the point of even giving them 1 red cent? Look, Cori Bush just came out with a book. What is that doing for you and me? Right? But hang on. What is that doing for you and me?
Yeah.
How is that saving you or I? How is that saving my mother? How is that saving somebody's auntie or uncle or people who have special needs family members? How is that saving us? It is not. And the thing is that it's all a money game for so many people, especially the PMCs, because they don't feel it. And so this is why I say people who are leading the movements should be the most disenfranchised among us. And if you're PMC, just be there to back us up. That's it. Or write a check. Either or both. But the thing is that when it comes to people like us, we need to be the ones to lead it. Because the thing is that if you guys are the ones moving it, if the PMCs are the ones moving it, then guess who's going to get left out in the lurch? Us. Whoop, there it is. It's us.
Love it, JB. Thank you, JB. So just so we didn't say it literally, just taking the opportunity to say thank you to all that donated to JB's fundraiser. The goal was 5,000 and we exceeded it, 5,400. So thank you very, very much. So let's now move towards something very similar. It's activism. And our activist summit, which is technically our 2nd annual General Strike Summit. So our summit's coming up, and then each summit we try to have a different focus. We've had a third-party summit. We've had an international anti-imperialist summit. We started off with the labor summit, which was the first General Strike Summit. And for the 2nd annual, we want to do an activist summit where we have people who are in our communities, who are out on the ground doing the work of protesting, of activism, because it's not just protesting, of activism, and have them on all together talking about their activism, maybe giving them another stream of funding, like we could promote their funding stream so that see if they can get some more funding just to get their name out there. So What say you, Nick? What say you, JB? What do you want to see at the summit? What are you excited about? We can start. Whoever wants to start, I guess.
Yeah, this is we had our Drone Strike Summit last year. Now I'm super excited because now it seems like the left is finally serious to have this conversation. Now that when they see the wave of labor movement, RBN was there last year to tell people the direction that we need to go. There were so many people post Bernie Sanders, no idea what to do. Oh my God, now what? We was there telling you guys we need to hit the streets, we need to organize in drone strikes. And now I feel like there's more of appetite for that. So uh, I'm gonna reach out to try to reach out to Starbucks union organizers, Amazon union organizers. Hopefully we get Chris Smalls back. It's been a while since I talked to that dude. I was on his podcast a while ago, like back when he used to have a podcast. But Casey Tens, I'm trying to hit them up. Like there's so many people like
Yeah, that would
literally
be great to come. I would
there
love to hear them. Yeah, come.
already there are a lot of people I follow, like especially in my personal life. I'm trying to see if I get this person I know who'll have a mutual aid organization here. Bring them on. Bring on the Black Socialist Movement in St. Louis. 'Cause I still want to meet them mostly probably before the summit. I'm gonna try to set something up and see if I can get something. Bring them on to talk about their because they got a whole like healthcare, education, society down there where they completely divorce themselves from the capitalist system. So I want during this Joe Strike Summit we to have. I'm gonna try to focus on educating people on strikes, but also what goes with that as well. That's the activism part of it.
I wonder if we could get Uhuru socialists on. You think we could get one of them to participate?
So guys, we need let's use the power of our community here because there are a lot of people that we want to get on. So
Yeah.
we need to spread the word. Let them know the activist summit. This is the best way to get
Yes.
revolution.
Oh, let me put the email up there so they just in case they find somebody, just have them email us.
I already saw
And
a few
it's
people respond to my tweet because I just sent a tweet today. I was waiting until we did our stream. Sent a tweet today talking about our joint strikes. I already see a few people that are like, yo, hit me up, let me know if you need some people. I'll say you retweet as well. So
Yeah.
we're just not gonna start, and it's gonna be it's gonna be another great educational event, I think.
What do you think, JB? What are your thoughts on the upcoming summit? What do you want to see? Like, if you could say, "Hey, I want to make sure this type of segment or this type of panel," is it something you're excited to see or want to see?
I'm actually excited to talk, to my fellow people who are disabled again, so that we can talk about,
This no disabled
um,
panel.
yeah, and have these discussions because one thing I notice is that a lot of times those of us who are disabled tend to be invisible. And so one thing I appreciate about RBN is that we put forth the people who you don't hear from. I would also like to hear from a lot of LGBTQ activists, particularly a lot of trans activists, because, like I said earlier, the people who are the most disenfranchised need to be pushed ahead. And there's a lot of people who just don't have that voice, or their cause isn't as pushed forward as others.
Yeah.
So because of that, I would like to see more of their voices uplifted. And, as far as, what we do here at RBN is try to uplift the voices of activists. I can't wait to do more of that because, commentators are great and academics are great, but the people on the ground are the people who actually see what's going on the ground, and so I think that it is really great for us to do this. It's a great idea, and I think that the execution of it is going to be wonderful because it's going to mean that is people are more driven towards activism so that they can activate the people in order to, push for a better system, a better world than what we have already.
Yes. So there. I see a couple of people. Is it October 23rd? Let me put up the graphic so we could so everybody can see the details we have so far. So this is the graphic you see on the thumbnail, but here is a little more details. Not much, but Activist Summit, October 22nd to 23rd. And tentatively, I'm just letting it be known that if it pops off like it usually does, because all of our summits start out as 2 days, but they ended up being 3. So right now they're
We
2.
always underestimate, and then at the end, out there the people that we leave off, not out of malice, but literally because like I got no slots based on when you're
Right.
available. And that happens all the time. So we start with 2 days, we see what happens.
Right, we're saying, yeah. I'm just giving you a heads up. It may end up being the 21st too, but right now it's the 22nd and 23rd. This is technically our second annual General Strike Summit, and what it is we're bringing activists together nationwide, and we're streaming on RBN. I'm hoping to maybe we can pay for. We'll talk about it offline, but to get more platforms for the summit, so we can stream
we need
to
to,
Twitch and
what-
Facebook and all that, and see what the difference is in cost and pay for that.
One thing we need to do, we need to find a way to get physical flyers of the I saw the graphics that you made. Because I will go to one of the KC Tenant actions. It'd be great to have one of those flyers.
Oh,
And then
yeah. Find a place where you're at, because I do have my sister, because she does this work. She has a printing place that she knows pretty well. That
I
can
got
call up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I might be able to use my mom's.
Yeah, you
office.
way over there, you know.
Like I only use my mom like office because she's an accountant. They have a lot of They literally usually my go-to. We see though. But go ahead.
Yeah, you could do that. But yeah, I don't know where you could. But if you're watching and you are able to do this and you're in KC, you never know. If you're out in KC or out in Missouri and you're able to do this volunteer work for a great cause, to get these flyers to them, because that'll be great to have that passed out. And you know what I'm thinking? I want to have the location we want to have in LA for the chapter. That same location, which is my sister's location, is her location in Partners, is right by USC.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking I want to have some in-person interviews, kind of like a talk show, like there, like, because it's set up.
We need some equipment.
Like that, yeah.
We need some equipment to do that.
Oh yeah, if we had the equipment, yeah.
Because I've been working for a while. But sorry, go ahead, CJ.
But I want to go in the field. I don't know what I would need. I can't have my laptop in the field like when I'm out there. What do you say? The outside movement is growing because of RBN empowerment and educating the grassroots. Thank you, Case Study QB. Thank you, sir. We hope
Case on the activist he'd be good at on the activist summit, I think, as well.
Yes, Case, because he knows a lot of people. That's so. Reach out to your people, but
yeah,
that's
Case,
what I was
hit me up, bro. Case, hit me up, bro.
I'm gonna be hitting up people to just in the background to find out who's interested.
Hey, I was just saying, the Case Study QB, slide to the left in our DMs. Sorry. So I'm a little goofy because I'm in a good mood, but you know.
No worries. So just to top it off, streaming on RBN, we hope to stream to have Facebook and Twitch and maybe Rumble if we'll see the price point. Whatever other bigger app, but I want to have like more platforms for the summit, because the activist summit, this is us where we're gonna build. I really think like this is our opportunity for RBN to really get into the communities. But what better way to get in the communities with people already there? So we're kind of like connected and drawing off their energy and drawing off their help and expertise. So this is a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait. I can't wait for that because it's been a while. We took a break after the Anti-Imperialist Summit, but it's good.
It's nice.
Back to start organizing and getting back to the General Strike Summit, because I have a few ideas already I'm working on. I don't want to get say stuff before it's finished, but I have my ears on the ground here at KC, and I'm gonna talk to activists here. I'm gonna see. There's quite a few people I already want to hit up and see if we can get on, but. It should be dope. It should be dope, especially if I want to have like we can have a Julian Assange part of it too. There's so many things that ideas, because Misty just having the action, because this is an activist summit, right? Misty just has she was just on Jimmy promoting her action too, so she's killing it. So there's so many
Yeah, we can bring her on, and she can talk about that along with other things. Like this is gonna be great. Like this is gonna be great. I feel like summits are our theme. Like we're beginning to be known for those are the people that do summits. That's why we retweet them all the time. We retweet all our summits, even though they're months like a year ago. We're still retweeting them. And the thing is, people still watch them. They still get like hundreds of views all the time. So that's great. I think we can now begin to get into the regular stories.
Yeah.
And I can put the graphic up. Of course, we'll be talking about. I like this as a segment. What do you think? Progressive World. Today in Progressive World. I like that as a segment on whoever wants to on your show or whatever on our show. But today in Progressive World, we'll be talking about Cori Bush's, where JB alluded to Cori Bush's book and just the cringe tweet. And then Rashida Tlaib getting the backlash from so-called progressive Democrats or Democrats in general about her comments about Israel being in apartheid state. And then we got a bunch of other stories like black voters in the Democratic Party, and a bunch of other stuff we'll try to get to first. Anything you want to start with first, either one of you?
We can start with the Corey one because that's pretty funny, especially after talking about we can do a funny story now.
I'll let you lead that one then. I'll get the next one.
I'll pull a tweet off. Let me
yeah.
I can find it pretty quickly though. I think here it
but
is.
We can still set it up. Yeah, go ahead.
So this is hilarious. This is hilarious. The squad was a mistake. It was a mistake. I don't know what else to tell you guys. We have people who they got elected and they believe their job is done. Now, there's many forms of corruption that we learned. I remember when I had the failed strategy of thinking we were going to take over the Democratic Party, I used to think as long as a politician doesn't take corporate money, that means they're not corrupt. Oh, sweet summer child. Sweet summer child. But
how naive of you.
I mean, we all have levels. The Justice Democrat strategy here, I'm like, yo, that's good, man. We have some people that don't take corporate money, that'd be great. But then as I learned, I'm like, yo, there's a lot of different avenues for corruption. You guys want to know what's one of the most prominent ones? Money laundering through book deals. So another way that they reward people who for playing friendly with the establishment is that you all of a sudden has a book coming out, ghostwritten, of course.
Of course.
Establishment. You guys think Cori Bush is writing this? Where do you find time to write these books? Right now, let me show you the tweets. You guys probably wonder what the hell I'm talking about. This is what they send out in celebration, and guys, the video is really bad. Really, really, really bad. I'm gonna play it. We're gonna be all right. Part two, baby.
It's part two.
Part two. This is unbelievably cringe. So I'm glad I helped facilitate this because I saw this tweet and I did not see this ratio. I was like, bro, this should be a fucking ratio.
She got ratio.
What? And it wasn't a ratio when I first saw the tweet. And I sent this, I was like, what the fuck you writing a book for? You didn't accomplish shit. And I'm gonna explain that a little bit later. Let's watch the video. I'll share my audio here. And then it's actually worse. I'm gonna read it. And let me read it. And then I'll play the audio. Because I actually watched the video version later, and I was like, holy shit. It's actually worse than just reading the tweet. He said, I can't believe it. Finished copies of my book are here, and I got to hold it in my hand for the first time, along with my sisters, Ayanna Presley and Rashida Tlaib. So, people going homeless in our communities. JB been priced out on his rent. Don't worry, I got a book coming out. We're going to be all right. So here's the I'll be my mic, and then we can play.
Oh, God, this is so cringe.
Come on. Okay, y'all ready?
Yes.
Okay, y'all open it with me. Okay.
She gonna cry. No.
Wait,
What is that playing in the background? What is that playing in the
I Am
background?
Every Woman by Whitney Houston?
What is that playing in the background?
No, it gets worse. It gets worse, by the way. It gets way worse than this. If you see that trend,
Nick, this is the first time I'm seeing it because I didn't turn the sound on.
oh yes,
I did not turn. I just see it playing, but I refuse to turn the sound on because people are just from what people are saying. I'm like, wow, I cannot live through this. This is terrible. This is terrible. Go ahead.
Now, we're only 20 seconds in. I promise you, it get way worse. I promise you, it get way worse. I did the same thing you did when I first responded to this. I just read it, and that's why my response was like, "Why the fuck are you writing a book for it?" I was responding on the substance of this, but then watching the video, it gives you a whole another level of cringe. And imagine imagine the progressives that fall for this shit. Because people are saying through this. If you look at this tweet, she's getting fucking destroyed now.
Yeah, I saw that. Some of that.
She had the bots. When I first saw the tweet, I saw the bots like "Slay Queen." Yeah, first book coming out, Queen. Like who is? Anyway, I'm rewinding. Like I'll start from the beginning. Let's see how long we can. We only play 20 seconds, and you guys see what I'm talking about. It get worse.
Come on. Okay, y'all ready?
Yes.
Okay, y'all open it with me. Okay.
She gonna cry. No.
Wow.
Look at that. Powerful. That's powerful.
Oh my God.
Y'all ready? Hey.
Oh,
All
my
right, the
goodness.
forerunner, Corey Bush.
Oh.
A story of pain and perseverance in America.
Oh, and
Today is the day.
look at that. Praise for Corey Bush.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
Oh my goodness. It's like and I was ready to say it's like a real book, but it is.
Yeah. It's like a real book. Of course it's a real book. That's what they said. Corey Bush is a Renaissance woman. Perfect song. I'm every woman. It's all in me. Anything you want,
Oh,
baby. I do
gosh.
it naturally.
So those are your keep those in your books.
Oh,
I
you
want
have
you
to
to
sign
Yeah, I
it.
want to sign it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
Congresswoman, author, nurse, pastor,
Now, once you see the cover,
architect of the Ferguson uprising.
Oh.
It don't stop.
I love this.
Hey,
woman.
yeah.
Oh.
That was horrific. That was absolutely.
That's
Good
unbelievable.
Lord, that was terrible.
Oh my! And the part where they start singing, bro, like that's literally they literally start. We're going through trauma in our lives. More police, 100,000 police on the streets. Now you see why Corey Bush voted for Ukraine funding, sending weapons to Taiwan, because she get a book. And she's like, I can't believe it's a real book. And they're like, of course it's a real book. She's saying that because she had nothing to do with writing the damn book. You guys saw that? Guys, the new level of corruption, they give you a book, the DNC or the RNC. The DNC and the RNC will use campaign cash to buy your books up to get you on New York Times #1 bestseller list. Then you make millions of bucks and they say, oh, well, I'm not corrupt as a public servant. I'm a great author. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's literally the new grift.
We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright.
It's so ridiculous.
I have an idea. Just to show you guys what I'm talking about, I'm gonna play that song, but I'm gonna have the Corey Bush video playing. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Watch this. Come on, be patient with me.
We gon'
Be
be
patient.
alright.
Here we go.
We gon' be alright. 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 gonna be all right. We gonna be all right.
Hey.
We gonna be all right. Bring it down for me. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right.
These are the elected progressives that we have.
This is a Comedy Central sketch, man. And we and we're supposed to be serious that those people are fighting for the working class. Are we being serious? Is this serious? Is this serious, JB? Is that a serious thing that they're trying to get us to believe that
CJ,
those people are going to put that lifestyle on the line for us?
CJ, why you gotta ask me, man? Why you ask me, brother? Look, oh God, look, I'm gonna tell you right now. How many kids are in poverty right now? And don't give me that 50% of kids are poverty. 50% of kids in poverty are being cut. No. How many are in poverty right now? How many are starving right now? Also, how many billions did we just give to Ukraine? How many people have drinking water in Jackson right now? How many homeless people in your state? Are you calling out? No, I mean calling out. When I mean calling out, are you actually telling people the truth about Biden, about the Democratic Party? No. Because you're like, well, we got to work with them. And it's like, but they don't want to work with the people. They want to work with the oligarchs. They don't want to work with the people. So we're looking at PMCs that are in politics right now. And they're doing what PMCs do in politics right now. To them, that was a victory. That was a victory to be celebrated, despite police still shooting us in the back.
We supposed to be happy for
What?
it, JB.
Hold up. Congresswoman Bush, what did you accomplish really? What did you truly accomplish outside of your own success? And a lot of people will go, well, because they're women and they actually achieved it. And I'm like, to the guys as well, what did they accomplish? If you haven't accomplished anything more than them, you're no better than the dudes that are also in Congress that are doing the exact same thing. I don't want to be saying yes, queen, for austerity measures. If you want me to say yes, queen, I want to see you doing things like Shama Sawant. That's what I want to see. I want to see you do things like Delilah Barrios. I want you to be seeing you do things like that. I want to see you be doing things like what, our colleagues, former and present in RBN, are doing. If not, then why are you there? Why are people giving you money through Act Blue? Give it to mutual aid instead and actually help people instead. Because guess what? Your Act Blue donations just bought a book. Just gave her a book deal. That's all it was. In fact, let me ask you this. What is a book deal going to do for you and your family?
JB, are you implying that Cori Bush has not accomplished things as a congressperson? Do you see this? Do you see this power? Okay, she's posing for Teen Vogue. Okay, this is how you challenge capitalism. Joe Biden is shook. Wall Street is shook. The military-industrial complex, the police are shook. How dare you imply that this strong woman in this suit, in this Teen Vogue magazine shoe, is not doing her job? That she's not working with the outside game? Is that what you're implying?
What I'm implying is that if the machine is willing to accept you, that means they think that you can be part of the machine. How many articles on Teen Vogue has you seen Asada Shakur on? How many covers has Asada Shakur been on? What about the women and part of the African People's Socialist Party? I haven't seen them on there. How many articles have you seen Sabby Sabs on the covers of? If we're really going to be talking about it, are we going to talk about any of the female activists that are literally on the ground doing more than what she has done? See, the thing is that a lot of times people deify and celebritize these people who are in Congress, but we're celebrating mediocrity.
Right.
And then they'll call that Black excellence. I'm going to say something that might get me in trouble. And the opinions that I express are not the opinions of RBN. I'm just going to let y'all know that because I want to absolve my brothers from this. But Black excellence is a capitalistic myth. I said what I said, and I'm going to stand on it, and I'm going to die on that hill. Black excellence is a capitalistic myth because they want you to be Black capitalists and exploit other Black people for the sake of making more capital. That's all it is. You want to know what real Black excellence is? Guess what? The real Black excellence that's represented, guess what? Those people, they're either in prison or they're dead. That's real Black excellence, and I'm telling you that right now.
So before we wrap this segment up, I want to now we have fun. Now let's get into the substance of our criticism here.
Yes.
I want after our first segment, I wanted to keep this one pretty lighthearted. We talk about a lot of depressing stuff on here. So let's get into why are we so critical of Cori Bush doing a victory lap for selling out by joining the political book complex? That's what it is. We cannot give these people the benefit of the doubt no more. This is exactly how they do it. They don't take court money anymore, but they get a book that's sponsored by the establishment. Then just like the RNC, you're gonna have campaign cash, Democrat campaign cash that are used to buy this book up, and then choose them a bestseller. That's how the new corruption works. They figure it's their new ace in the hole now. And then I remember this. I played a segment, and the reason I'm not gonna play this clip is because the last time I played this clip, I was taken down because it was a Cori Bush on Stephen Colbert. That was one of those times I was taken down. Like, okay, that makes sense because Stephen Colbert is very strict. John Oliver is another person who's very strict with his copyright. But I'm going to explain to you guys what I covered. I covered this on the show before. Cori Bush went on Stephen Colbert, and this is maybe in March, like months after the Capitol Steps protest that we exposed as pretty much being a sham where they abandoned the real activists and they allowed the Supreme Court to strike it down without any other activism or follow-up. And then she went on the Stephen Colbert show, and then they pretended that their action was successful. Well, they were like, oh, wasn't you successful? I'm glad that you did this activism. She's like, yeah, I slept on the steps. Joe Biden passed a homeless referendum to extend the rent moratorium, And then the Supreme Court struck it down. Like many of us in RBN Warren, we were like, why are you guys going home? There was activists after Cori Bush and them that left. After they left, there were activists that stayed because they knew the fight wasn't over. Then there were videos of them being beat by the police after the politicians left. After they allowed Chuck Schumer and Democrats to use that as a photo op. You had all these neoliberal, like Ted Lieu was another one. All these neoliberal Democrats who funded the apartheid state of Israel that was down there, right? Talking about, and Max Blumenthal, I'm gonna show you guys a clip where Max Blumenthal exposed Cori Bush. He called out Ted Lieu and he said, how are you gonna pretend you're for the fight homelessness issue when you're taking billions of our money and send it to Israel instead of the homelessness issue? And he asked him, do you support taking the money we sent to Israel to solve the homelessness problem? Of course, he didn't get an answer. So I'm gonna show you guys this interview that Max did with Cori Bush, where he was asking her just basic questions. And Franco Analysis is another guy who did the same thing. And you will see Cori Bush completely exposed. And why are you, an activist politician, afraid to answer questions from activists and journalists? You would think left politicians who are blacked out if you actually was fighting by the corporate media. You will want to talk to as many people as possible to get your message out. But look how evasive Cori Bush and the squad was being at the Capitol. That's the exact opposite you would think, right? But anyway, let me play this video and you guys see what I'm talking about. Because it was quite a while ago. Let me mute my...
That's where we are.
And I heard like last night there was a lot less people. It's great to see so many more people, but I heard there was an intense debate about the role of the squad and why the squad didn't leverage its vote for the speaker for Medicare for all vote, and why the squad, I mean, with the margin so narrow in Congress, why the squad didn't
Yes, because
leverage its vote on the stimulus to get a $15 minimum wage. What?
No. So first, one thing that was said last night, which is something that's very true, and I wish we would have talked about that this was where your conversation was going, because we're talking about the rally for tonight. And I really would love to keep the conversation on what's happening.
I feel like it's all related to healthcare and the...
It absolutely is, but this is the thing. What was said last night is that this bill, Medicare for All, is not, there's no person on the squad whose bill that is. That is Bernie Sanders' bill in the Senate. It is Pramila Jayapal's bill in the House. It is not our bill. We cannot make that bill come to the floor. There is nothing that we can do legally to get the bill to the floor. We have
But Pelosi could have brought the bill to the floor.
We're good here. Thank you.
What? Well,
I'm sorry, man. We're fine at this.
Why can't she answer the question?
We're here to talk about the eviction.
But I feel like it's all about healthcare.
Thank you.
Really appreciate
your time. Thank you.
This is
why is that? I can't ask about Medicare for all.
The congresswoman has slept 1 hour. She's done a lot of labor.
I'm trying to get people out here too.
I respect your work.
I'm trying to do the same thing you all are doing.
Thank you for being here.
But why can't she could just answer it and then I go away? I'm not trying to like attack her or anything. I'm not trying to smear her.
We're happy to give you a contact and you can reach
But
out.
why is that issue? The Medicare for all vote. So like she was wrapping up her, but she was wrapping up her. I know she was wrapping up her answer. Then I was going to say thank you. Everybody come out.
I appreciate.
But why didn't you let her just wrap?
And you know what's funny about all that? If she really felt like she should have answered the question, she said, guys, you know what? Let me answer this question. She could have interrupted them and said, no, I got it. But she didn't. She allowed herself to be saved by them so that she wouldn't have to answer the question.
And you see, she was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were gonna ask me real questions." You saw that part of the interview. He was like, "Oh, I didn't. Oh shit, I didn't know. I thought you was gonna kiss my ass like other people do. I didn't know you was gonna ask me some real shit."
Yeah, she basically chastised them for asking that question. Well, if I had known you were going to ask this question, then what? You wouldn't have talked to him? Is that what it is? Come on, let's be honest. You wouldn't have talked to him. And guess what? I bet you next time she sees Max Blumenthal's face, because Max Blumenthal, he's recognizable. She's going to run the other way because she's not going to want to talk to him. Because guess what? She knows he's going to ask real questions. And that's the thing. That's the thing with all politicians, man. They all get to the point where they find out who the real ones are, and then they skirt over because they're like, nah, let me go to the CNN anchors. Let me go to the TYT anchors. Let me go to the MSNBC anchors because they're the ones who are going to give me the softballs.
Why are you a quote unquote activist politician afraid to talk? You should be out. You should be doing everything you can to get media. Look what the right wing do. They do everything they can. I saw this video of Marjorie Taylor Greene being yelled at by liberals in the Capitol, and they were like, "Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene kicked this lady because she was engaged." And she's like, "I don't give a fuck. You motherfuckers are baby killers. You motherfuckers, you guys trying to take my gun. You guys, they really engaging because they really believe this shit." There's none of this with the squad. And remember the story we covered, CJ, with Jamal Bowman, where this guy asked him about Ukraine fund. He was like, "Oh man, you should never call me out like this, man. Just pull me to the side." He pulled him to the side. He's like, we're gonna do this Ukraine fund.
We're gonna keep doing this.
We're gonna keep doing this. And we had people, and I remember because I was one of many that was adding the squad, and Cori Bush like, "Yo, the eviction moratorium shit is not over." They pretend to this day that they prevented the evictions. They did not. They still to this day. They did it on the Stephen Colbert. I'm still mad they put that statement, but what you can do it. I copyrighted the shit out of them.
Yeah.
But they, on that show, they were pretending that they were successful and they was not. And you have activists that was asking them, "What is your response?" And they were like, "No, we done here. We did our stunt." That's why. That's now. If you give us the Medicare for all, if you can help prevent homeless evictions, then yeah, have a fucking book deal.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you do? What the fuck have you done? What you have done is voted for the Ukraine proxy war. Now, if you guys think I am being too hard on Cory Bush, let me show you guys something. Lula, now, he won the first round in Brazil. Lula, it hurts to say, he's kind of a liberal now. He's shifted to the right a lot. He's still way better than Bolsonaro. But Lula himself said the NATO, he like, bro, this thing in Ukraine, this is NATO's fault. I covered that. He said this is Zelensky's fault. Meanwhile, Cory Bush, Jamal Bowman, they fund Nazis in Ukraine, and you can't even ask them about it. They did no press release. They never explained their vote. They don't owe you shit. Now I'm gonna show you what a real leftist looks like. I explained to you what Lula's position on this was. Here, let me pull this video up. This is Mickey Wallace. Am I getting that right?
Something like that. Mickey something, yeah.
Yeah, I always fuck his name up. Yeah, I know it's Mick something, right? He kills the game. And when I played Claire Day came on another video. I don't know if it relates to Nail. She was talking about the food crisis. I might play that as well. Because I want to show you guys what real fucking leftist politicians is. Cory Bush is an embarrassment. And that hurts to say as a leftist in Missouri, a black leftist in Missouri, who I was excited when she got elected because we heard what she did in Ferguson. But there are many Ferguson activists, many activists on the ground here. They're like, fuck, Cory Bush sold us out. Unbelievable. If she would sell you out, I'm telling you guys right now, if Cory Bush sold us out, everyone will. So we might as well leave the Democratic Party. But let me play this video. Let me mute, and then you guys.
The NATO summit in Madrid was a big love-in for the supporters of the military-industrial complex. NATO is not a defense alliance. It's a war machine. Ask the people of Afghanistan, Iraq, or Libya. NATO's real goal is the defense of a waning US hegemony and a unipolar world system. That's what NATO exists for. Any discussion of that is silenced, chilled in this land of free speech. The war in Ukraine, NATO is loving it. Like the US, the Russian economy is dominated by monopoly capital. Both countries are run by oligarchs. Now we have a US-NATO proxy war against Russia and Ukraine. Two factions of capitalist imperialism waging war against each other, with millions of workers caught in between. A survey by the European Council on Foreign Relations showed that the vast majority of European citizens want peace rather than promoting a war that punishes Russia. But NATO never wants peace. What I want to know is, what does the EU really want?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the United States, Cory Bush vote for NATO expansion. Vote for weapons to Ukraine. Do you guys see the difference? Do you guys think I'm being too hard on her now? I wish, and I said this on stream before, CJ. I'll pass to you guys. I know I'm right here. But I said before, when it comes to the boutique left, I was rooting for these motherfuckers. Like, even when I hated, like, I would bash Cory Bush so many times. I would have been happy if Cory Bush came out and did a speech like Mick Wallace on NATO like that. If she did a speech like that, we would do a segment like, holy shit. You guys see Cory Bush? Mm-hmm. Nope. Exact opposite. You know why? Because she won a book deal.
I think she just failed to the same. So now I'm starting to think that it's no other corruption than self-interest. It's nothing that Cory Bush has been in such a short amount of time. It's nothing else she's got out. She hasn't gotten like committee assigned. It's nothing she has played. All she's doing now is to play to keep her seat, to keep the perks as a politician. So anything outside of that, she ain't fucking with it. If her boss, Nancy Pelosi, said, hey, you better tippy-toe around that topic or we're going to be coming after you and getting your ass out and you're going to be back on the streets protesting. That's a real thing. When she looks and says, wait a minute, my family is living in a nice house. I have health care, not even health care. Like, I don't even pay a copay when I go to the doctor. I have some of the best doctors in the world. I'm able to get a book deal. I think I'm going to do this. Nah, I'm not saying that. Handler, take care of this. You see, the shift is simply self-interest in a crumbling capitalist system. You get what I'm saying? It's not like everybody's doing well. It's like it's hell burning house, and then it's like, wait, I can get this life raft. Let me go ahead and get this life raft and go with the people that's burning down this house. Because at least I'll get a little bit more time before they turn their fire on me. It's just I can't see what else it could be. JB, Nick, what else do you see that this could be? That they're making these shifts and these giant shifts. I mean, AOC is nothing like what she used to be.
At this point, I think to answer your question, at this point, I think they know they lost the left. The NATO Ukraine thing, the establishment told them that was a hard red line. Like if they voted, imagine if the squad did the right thing on that. The amount of fucking heat they would get. So once they gave them like, yo, we about to do this thing. We launched this new World War III, Cold War, proxy war. We about to completely shift the global economy. If you don't get on board, you're fucking done. And I think when they knew that, when they knew they endorsed Joe Biden and they stopped fighting for Medicare for all, when they knew they endorsed, they knew they can trick the sycophants. Like the people who love AOC because she thinks she's a beautiful left queen, right? These people, no matter what AOC does, they don't give a fuck. Like AOC, they don't give a fuck about her votes. They love her Instagram videos, right? They love the presentation of AOC, right? So they know they're gonna keep those people. But once they cross that line to supporting U.S. imperialism, they know they lost the real love, and they're like, "Oh, no point in you fucking around no more. They gone. We might as well just
let me just embrace this liberalism. Go ahead, JB.
I really think that will happen. I think they don't care anymore. Like they see us, they know who the fuck we are. They know who the fuck they know who we are, bro. They just don't. They like, oh, we lost the fucking anti-imperialists. We lost the true black activists because we gone along with extra security state funding. Repeating pro-cop propaganda. So they're like, oh, yeah, we lost those. We lost them. It's cool. We're going to do the Chuck Schumer strategy where for every one black activist we lose, we're going to pick up 2 suburban white mothers. That's their strategy. So that video, that cringe-ass video we played for you for Cori Bush, that's for 40-year-old white moms to be like, oh, my God, they're thriving. Yes, queen. That's not our demographic.
That's not for us. That's not for us at all. That's not for us. Yeah.
I shut up because I'll pass to you guys. I have enough minutes, but I'll pass to you guys. I'll let you guys take over for it.
Okay. So a couple things. Okay. So one thing, if Cori Bush really wanted to activate people and show people what the Democratic Party really is about, if she really wanted to truly reform the Democratic Party from the inside, and she would tell people what the machine really is. She has over 900,000 followers on Twitter that she can tell that to. She can call a press conference from MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, New York Times, etc., because she is a U.S. Congress person. So she could call a press conference and basically put that out there and say, this is what the Democratic Party does. You guys need to either lead the Democratic Party or you guys need to pressure the Democratic Party to do such and such, whatever policies that are very populist, right? She could do that. She could put out there and say that we need to force a floor vote, and I pressure all my progressive colleagues to join me into doing it. She could do all that, but she doesn't. Sometimes people need to focus on not just what people say, but what they don't say, what they omit from what they actually want to tell you. And the thing is that, look, like somebody said, somebody made a comment earlier. I want to bring this out because it was a good comment. Somebody said $160,000 goes a long way. Yeah, Joe said $160,000 goes a long way. Yeah, and a book deal worth millions does too. And then a lot of times, and Nick, you touched on AOC. I'm going to share my screen really quick because a lot of people don't realize this, and I didn't know this, and I'm not sure if this guy was just her date or is actually her boyfriend, but AOC's man is an heir to a fortune. This is the Daily Mail. AOC's tax socialist firebrand went to Met and double date with billionaire Seagram's heir Benjamin Brofman, despite her famously wanting to get rid of billionaires. So she was at the Met Gala with the heir of the Seagram's empire. He founded the Seagram's Drinks Company and is worth $2.5 billion. So, that being said, she is in very close proximity with oligarchs. Do you think, in your mind, that she would go up against that? If you think she would, I have a diamond-crusted bridge over a volcano to sell you. Because she won't. And Cori Bush saw the money. Look, CJ, Nick, you guys know a little bit about rap. What does CREAM stand for in the rap game?
Cash rules everything around me.
Bingo! That's what happens. They got that cream. They were like, "Oh, this is nice. Okay, I'm gonna give me a book deal. All right, yes, yeah." And guess what happened? They got some of that money. They left the hood. Guess what? They left the hood behind. Guess what? We're still hungry and starving in the hood. They do it as politicians. They do it as rappers. They do it as actors. They do it all over the place. And so when people talk about, oh, well, we need to reform the Democratic Party, well, the people who you sent to reform it ain't doing it. So guess what? Stop sending people to the Democratic Party. Stop doing it. Instead of giving all that money to them so that they can be in there, give the money to the people and raise them up. This is why the Activist Summit is so important, because we don't want another Cori Bush. We're done with having more of them. We're done having more Jamal Bowmans. We're done having more Mondaire Jones. We're done. We're sick and tired of it. Because the thing is that is a bad ROI. It's a bad return on investment. Has your return on your investment happened? No, because guess what? Now she has millions of dollars in the book and you ain't get shit. Look, your pockets are empty. What has it really done for you? And a lot of people are like, well, you're just picking on Cori. But I'm like, no, because I'll be saying the exact same thing about any single one of them. Because it's all.
If it was a corporate Democrat, if there was a corporate Democrat, the same progressive bootlickers would be roasting them. And there's so many examples of this. They give them a pass for some reason. But sorry, JB, continue.
No, but and that's the thing. They would be like, oh, well, that's just a corporate Democrat for you. But yet we're supposed to accept it when a progressive does it? What is that? Come on, man.
Yeah, I think we can wrap the Cori Bush segment because she's like, I mean, I can wrap a bow on it. I'm disappointed, because of when you have an activist from the streets, and a real activist turn. This is why Nick said if Cori Bush turn, man, it's nobody. You could just there's nobody So there's something. I think it's self-interest. AOC diverts revolutionary energy and lulls people into false hope in action. She is the establishment, absolutely. And shout out Zoya.
Why you guys think Congressperson from District Wyoming 9 is not getting these book deals? Well, why you don't think random California Congressperson from District 1 is not getting these deals? These people play a very important role. People think we critique the squad and Brady for no reason. And that comment from Zoya, our friend, is on point. They serve a very, very important role. Barack Obama mobilized many anti-war activists, and his job was to kill the anti-war movement. The same way, their job is to take the energy that a lot of people would radicalize because of the dooming economy in 2008. And I'm gonna make this point. I'll try to make it quick because I got another 10 minutes. I gotta sign out. I'll try to make it quick. A lot of people they say, well, we should be excited about Bernie running again. We should praise Bernie because Bernie shifted this country to left. Motherfucker, black people were shifted and radicalized because police killed us, not because some old politician. He gave us an option. Motherfuckers, a lot of people was economically radicalized in 2008 when they lost their homes. Guys, I voted for Jill Stein in 2016. Why do you think I did that? Then I voted for Jill Stein in I voted for Holly Hawkins in the Green Party in 2020. So Bernie was there to give us an option. There are people giving way too much credit for being the person. Medicare for all, single payer was a thing written by the Green Party. The Green New Deal was something that was written by the Green Party. These are third-party ideas. And now, instead of having a movement where we fight for those things, they take those ideas, popularize it, and say, hey, let's fight for it in a party that will never make it be successful. So, taking this otherwise anti-establishment energy, imagine you had this young generation that mostly socialist now. After 2008, now the COVID pandemic and the economic crash, but instead of us being super radicalized, Bernie and AOC, they're like, hey guys, we're gonna do it, man. Come on, just believe me. We should vote for Jim Crow Joe. We're gonna get some stuff, man. Why you guys being so hasty? You don't need to go on strike. What the fuck? Well, you gonna shut shit down? Man, I wanna go with brunch, man. I got dinner and shit to do, man. Why you guys doing? No, that's exactly what they're doing. People don't understand. That's why we gotta call them out. Like, we don't have time for that shit anymore. But I'll pass it back.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's sad to see Cori Bush be this. And I remember when she first was elected, I did a video back before RBN, and I was like, people on the left were wondering, are they going to turn Cori Bush into the same thing what they did to Bernie? I said that in the video, and I still read, and it's so surreal to see it happen. And I mean, you can't tie more of a bow on it than a book deal. Like, that's literally what Nick said. That's part of this whole gimmick. That's what conservatives have been doing this whole gimmick. Do you see how liberals go, oh, wait a minute, conservatives been doing dark money. Let's jump on that shit. Conservatives been doing this book deal shit. Let's jump on that shit.
Into the squash.
Yeah.
If you like Cal Kalinske, then he will say stuff like, well, they're not corrupt like the other people. No, fucking, they doing the same shit. They taking money and then going for war. What's the difference? Other than they just staying in progressive.
But you see why it's so important for us to not only say, oh, I'm not voting. We need to actively say, no, stop voting for the Democratic Party to break this hole, because people are just going to keep leading them down. We're the people that have to say, hey, stop this line of people. Like, cut in, like, stop taking these people down this road. That's what we have to do. It's not just sit on the sidelines and be like, do whatever you want. No. Try to wake people up to say, stop doing this, do something better. Stop giving your money to them, give it to a mutual aid. Look who we just helped. We just helped a real person, JB and JP's mom. We just helped Rome is down in Jackson, Mississippi, or going down in Jackson, Mississippi, already have 5,000 bottles of water and still getting more. This is who you should be helping. We can survive without these people. Just imagine a sustainable infrastructure of mutual aid, mutual giving that we're doing, where we're like, y'all got some stuff going on. That's cute. We're over here doing our own thing. And that's when we're really gonna be like, we're gonna be all right. So my 2 cents to wrap that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to also echo something that you said, CJ, that was so great, is that it's up to us, because how many white people on the left who are in this space, who are comrades of ours and that are allies of ours, you know, they can only call out the black ones so much, but we can call them out all day long, right? Without getting, you know, that pushback. So it's up for us to call them out. It's up for, you know, and you got us, you got Black Power Media, you got Kim Brown, right? You got people like Margaret Kimberly that calls them out. You know, I like to call Auntie Margaret. Auntie Margaret. You got people like her. You know, you got people like Garland Nixon. You know, you got so many of us who are black and on the left that are on the actual left that are saying, you know what? Nah. We ain't down with this, because you guys are not representative of us, because you guys are literally selling us out. And so it's up to people like us in RBN, which is one of the reasons why I tell y'all, make sure. Did y'all like the stream yet? Did you? Look, CJ's gonna ask.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask. I'm getting to that right now. But Nick, I know Nick has to be leaving. But Nick,
Yeah,
did you
let
have
me do
something?
this. I want to do the segment. I want one. Because it's not gonna be a long segment. Maybe I'll cut this to maybe 10 minutes because it's exactly the topic that we are talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
So let me start like this. So I have been frustrating a lot of liberals on Twitter recently, especially white liberals, because I've been bragging and I've been trying to get people out of the Democratic Party. And remember, JB, we talked about this before. Like there's a lot of people that was ignoring RBN last winter and last spring. But what is going on during the time that's not going? What's going on now that's not going on then? There was no elections, so they can allow us rowdy Negroes to have YouTube pages and talk a ton of shit, and they can ignore us. But now that there's midterms coming around, and now we are exposing who people like John Fetterman is, we're telling people, hey, no, fuck this Democrat voting shit. And now people are not having a good time handling that because I told you guys, my goal is to get as many black people out of the Democratic Party as possible. As possible. And if you guys saw our Bad Faith episode, you guys see why. I explained why. The NAACP and black leaders convincing us to vote for the Democratic Party and robbing all of our leverage was a horrific move. Malcolm X knew better. MLK, these people knew better. Fred Hampton knew better. He denounced electoral politics. Like, this is stuff that the black capitalists and neoliberals convince our community has done unbelievable harm. But the facade is slowly lifting. Slowly. So even though Joe Biden won black vote by a large margin, do you guys know he won a less percent of black vote in the last 20 to 35 years? Barack Obama was the opposite trend because Barack Obama was the first black president. But ever since then, Democrat numbers from the black voters has dropped significantly. Well, a lot of people don't realize as well, Bill Clinton was the only Democrat in the last 40 years. And now Joe Biden was the second one because I studied this very closely. I used to pour on this my old channel all the time. Yeah. Joe Biden was the second one, but outside, you had Bill Clinton, who got less than 90% of the black vote. You guys know that? Bill Clinton and Joe Biden are only two Democratic presidents in the last 40 years that got less than 90% of the black vote. So now you have Biden reaching Bill Clinton numbers where they're in the 80s, low 80s. Now Democrats are losing even more because these black boomers that are tolerant in the Democratic Party, the less of them, more of the young black people who are done, more of a socialist. Mm-hmm. So this article I want to talk about. Democrats are lagging behind black voters, and that could cost them in November. Boom. Boo fucking who. But there was a part in the article. This is the only reason I'm really covering this. I think this is very interesting. And I'm going to get you guys take on it. Like I said, this is not going to be a long segment. Because this is the part I found interesting. They actually admit in the article the main thesis I explain on this channel all the time. Look at this part. Deal with this part in this article in CNN. Biden and Democrats have a smaller edge of black voters. Look at the first sentence, and they actually tell on themselves here. Black voters tend to be a forgotten part of the discussion about general elections. What is CNN? And then they explain. The reason is simple. They have been one of the most democratic parts of the electorate for a long time. While Joe Biden in 2020 likely did slightly worse than Hillary Clinton among African Americans. I told you this is the decline. Barack Obama was the exception because he was the black president, right? But there's been a decline literally since the 90s, slowly. That doesn't mean black voters are unimportant. So this is the funny part, because the first paragraph is where they say the quiet part out loud. Then they had to gaslight the people reading, because this part was like, oh shit, this can't be the driving message I leave with you, that black voters are no power. So he says that doesn't mean black voters are unimportant, though. That's exactly what it means. So now let me read this again. Black voters tend to be a forgotten part of the discussion about general elections. The reason is simple. They have been one of the most democratic parts of the electorate for a long time. So why do you guys think the Democratic Party does not have to run on the black agenda? Not only do they not have to run on the black agenda, they can run on an explicitly anti-black agenda,
right?
Where you have more federal marijuana arrests, where you have more funding of police, where you mistreat Haiti and deport 3 times more Haitians than the last 3 presidents combined. When you can bomb Africa, you can just say fuck the black community because we made a giant mistake of voting for them as a massive block with no ass. So that's my only rant. I'll pass it to you guys, and we make a short statement. Go ahead, guys, if you guys have any take.
Yeah, so let me just say a scheduling note. Nick and I will be leaving. I have to pick up my daughter, and Nick got plans in like 5 minutes or less, so it'll be.
Yeah, I do it straight tonight, so I got.
Yeah, so but what's up, Rome? What's going on, Rome?
What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right. I'm just using these headphones I never used. Yeah, man. Got a lot to do before I dip out. I'm heading out tomorrow, so I'll be in Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson. I said it backwards. Jackson, Mississippi tomorrow afternoon at like 7 o'clock. So I'm gonna try to. My boy Stan down there, he getting some more water. He had helped us down there. He helped us down there in Kansas too.
You said what you doing now? You just getting water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna.
Dad,
Yes.
you put that 2%.
I told you we was about to die. Well, yeah, that's all.
I actually got head out. My stream tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna have Anthony Kiwamine on, and I'm gonna have Carla Zah. We're gonna talk about Ukraine, the state of the left, bro. Trust me. Carla and Q together is fire. We're gonna talk about China. We're gonna talk about the Brazil election. I did call in yesterday talking about that. Got a lot to say. I already knew there's no way I literally did like a 30-minute rant on that on calling yesterday. So that's why we're probably gonna cover that tonight. So sorry, Ron, to interrupt you. I gotta get out of here. Have a good one, guys.
All right, Nick.
Go ahead, Ron.
Oh no, that was all I was saying. Is